Hey there, ACH 100, welcome back. Today we are going to do the windows and door openings in our stud wall that we built. Let me get some controls out of the way here. So since our last video, this is where we ended before, and what I went ahead and did was I expanded the wall to 12 feet, and then I also added the Advantech subfloor material to the floor sheathing and the zip material to the zip sheathing. And you can find both of those right here at 3D Warehouse. So you just type in Advantech at the top, and you can pick any one of these and download it. And then you can paint it on to your material. And it's best to have a 4x8 sheet drawn and ready to go. Triple click, right click, save it as a group, and then go and paint your material onto each one of these. Now, as I had suggested before, but now you can really see, these panels get put on horizontally so that they are across the studs, and they get started on a stud and they end on a stud centered so that we can nail both of these to a stud. And the joints get offset both for the wall sheathing and for the floor sheathing. And then what I did from there is I just trimmed everything down to our little section of wall. So it goes to the top plate and then just to the edges of our section. Now, you are welcome to do this. I highly recommend it for the practice. You may get an extra point or two if you go through this process. You will need to know the materials and how to install them for the rest of your professional life, so I highly recommend it. So we're going to start right here with this wall section. Let me turn around if I can. There we go. And again, this is a 12-foot length of wall, and according to your assignment, you are going to put a 3'6" wide by a 5'6" tall window, rough opening into this wall. So what we're going to do is use our tape measure and find the middle. See, it'll pop to the middle. And then from there, we're going to go 3'6" is 42 inches, and half of that is 21 inches. So we'll go in each direction 21 inches. And then it says that we're going to put we'll do this first. This gives us the parameters of a rough opening left to right. So we know we need to take out things that are in the way. So we'll take out all of this. All right. And now we will put some studs back. So this is our rough opening. We're going to have one jack stud and one king stud. So a jack stud actually holds up the header, and a king stud stabilizes the header and the jack stud. So we're going to grab this and we're going to click and go over to here. And then we're going to triple click and open that group, and we're going to push it down 9.5 inches. That's going to be our header depth. And then we're going to take that and we're going to copy and push this over, and we've created our second jack stud. Now we're going to grab another full height stud and we're going to copy it by having the move and then hitting control, and then we'll click that one in there, and we'll grab this one, grab move, head in the direction we're going, and click control, and we've created a copy. And now we've created our jack and our king stud. So what we're going to do is create our header now. So we're going to grab back there and create our rectangle on the back surface. And then this header is a 1 3/4 inch deep header. So we'll triple click, right click, and make it a group. See, we've got a header in there. Now we're going to paint it. I tend to use the orange for the LVLs. And then in order to get down to the header height of 6'10", we're going to start from the bottom and measure up. You grab down here at the bottom of the wall and you start pulling up and you type in 6 feet 10 inches. So what we have left to get down to our rough opening is 1.5 inches. See right there? So we can fill that in with a 2x6. So push that, triple click, right click, and make it a group. And then let's paint it. And that gets us our top of our opening. Now, the window is 5'6" tall according to our assignment. So we're going to take our tape measure tool and head in this direction, 5'6", and then we're going to click on our stud at the top and bring it down, hit Control, and head in the direction we want to go. And if you hold Shift, it'll keep it in the correct axes in the correct place, but it'll let you snap to that guide that you made on the back wall. So now we have our rough opening. Now we need our cripple studs below here. So what we're going to do is use our tape measure, and we'll come in here and we will go 1.5 and we'll create our cripple studs. Oops, I got stuck in the floor. That happens. Now, because you have your window sitting on this stud right here, you want to support this at both ends. Triple click, right click, make it a group, and let's paint it. And then let's copy it over to here so that we have cripples on both ends. And then the next thing you need to do is grab this by the middle and hit Control and come over here to your first available stud that is still at 16 inches on center and just put one there. Now that we have one there, we need to keep it, grab that one and head in this direction and type 16 inches. Because no matter what happens, what interrupts that continuous wall, we have to have something at 16 inches on center so that we have something for our sheathing and our drywall eventually to nail to. So now that we have that one, we can hit Move and Control and type another at 16 inches on center and say 2x, and now we have all of our cripple studs in place. I'm going to delete these guides to get them out of the way. And now I'm going to cut out this is the back of the zip sheathing, that's the insulation. I'm going to cut this out. Just make a rectangle and then you grab your push-pull tool and once you see that turn like that, you click and it disappears. It deletes the material for the rough opening. Now you can see we have panels here that are overlapping the opening. So we'll grab this one because it is completely in the opening, top and bottom. We'll triple click and we'll use the push-pull tool. If we can get it to triple click and then grab the push-pull tool and come on. It's not wanting to grab the end that we can't see. There we go. And then you bring it over here to the edge of the opening. And then you can hit escape and get out of the command. Triple click on this piece of sheathing. Use your push-pull tool and get it out of the way. Now, these little pieces up here and down here are not completely in the opening. So it's better to come out here on the front side, so where you can see your rough opening, and triple click and draw a line with your line tool right here at the rough opening. And then go over here to this other side and draw a line right there. And this will create a separate plane right there, and then it will allow us to push it up out of the way. There we go. So now you can see that little notch got taken out of that panel, and that's fine. And so you can hit select and escape and get out of that. We need to do exactly the same thing at the bottom of the window. So you triple click on this piece of sheathing, use your line tool, draw a line right here, and a line right here, and then use your push-pull to take it down. And get it in line with the bottom of the opening. Then you can hit select and escape, and now you have your window opening. In order to put the insulation back in, you can just grab one of your insulation and hit move, and you can grab it and head in the direction you want to go, put it in there. Yes, it's too big, so you triple click, and then you go to your push-pull tool, and you push and you put it in there, and hit select and escape. And now we've got another partial one over here, so let's grab this one. Hit move and select or control, and it'll create a copy. Triple click, use your push-pull, and make it fit the opening. Now you have your taller ones. For these smaller ones, I'm going to go in here and create a rectangle on the back face where the sheathing is, and then use my push-pull tool to pull it out to the face there. And then I will triple click, right click, and make it a group and paint it. So we'll go over here to materials and find the pink. Now that we have one that's the right height anyway, we'll hit move and control and create a copy, triple click, and use push-pull and make it fit. And that's a 16-inch on center. So once we escape, we can pick this and use our move tool, start moving and hit control, and then we have the copy, and it'll fit right in there. Now I'm going to take this smaller one and grab it, hit move and control, and it'll create the copy. It'll come over here. Now once I have it in there, I'm going to triple click and hit push pull and fill in that gap. Now I'm just going to leave the insulation out of here so that you can see the header, but normally you would fill that in. And this is how you get your window opening. You have your cripples on the bottom that are supported on each end, and then at 16 inches on center in line with the rest of the wall. And you have your header right up underneath your double top plate. And this is a 1.5-inch filler to just bring it down to where I had said to put the rough opening, which is at 6'10" above the bottom plate. So to repeat that, for your door opening, what you do is this called for 2 jacks and a king. So you do basically the same thing as you did on the window, 2 jacks and a king. You put your header right up underneath, and this one requires 2. So let me move this up so you can see there are 2 in there. You'll bring it down to 6'10" above the subfloor with this to shim it down. And then you'll need to come down here and cut out your bottom plate. So that this is a door opening, we're going to need to cut that out so it's not a tripping hazard, and that the door will fit. So that's how you get your door opening. 2 jacks and 1 king. Now, the last thing you were asked to do was to make this a 9-foot tall wall. This was an 8-foot tall wall, but keep your window at 6'10". So again, this narrow opening only requires one jack and one king. You put your header up at the top, and then you can basically create a little knee wall to bring it down to the 6'10" height. And you'll have your cripple here and your little cripple here. Again, at the bottom, because you have the weight of the window sitting on this, you want to support it on both ends. And that gives you your 3'6" by 5'6" window in a 9-foot tall wall. Now, there are a few ways to frame this. You get your full header strength if it is right below your top plates. But very few people will do this. What they will do is this. If they know that the top of their rough opening is at 6'10", they will bring their jacks up to 6'10" and put their header right in here. And then they will put a little cripple wall above it to the double top plate and the supported cripple studs below it. This is more typical, but you also lose some of the strength and rigidity of the wall in doing it this way. So you should have all of these in your final assignment. You have your stud wall. This was me showing you about the sheathing. This is your window with single jack, single king. You're shimming down to 6'10" above the floor and putting in your 1 3/4 by 9.5 inch LVL, laminated veneer lumber header. This is your 6/0 opening for your French doors with your header right up against the top plate again, but because this opening is wider, it needs more support, so we're going to put double jacks and a single king. Double jacks and a single king, and then we're shimming down with a 2x to get it to 6'10" above the floor. We're going to cut out our base plate, and then this is how we make the wall taller. You can put your header up here or your header down here at the rough opening height, but the window would look the same from the outside either way.